Video of the beautiful Princess Cinderella. Did you know why Cinderella is called Cinderella? Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there was a young girl named Cinderella. She lived with her wicked stepmother and her two stepsisters, Anastasia and Drizella. Cinderella was a kind and sweet girl, but her life was not easy for her, because in her life she had gone through many difficult trials, but always in good spirits. After the death of her mother, her father married, but just like her mother, shortly after his marriage he also died in a fall while riding horses. After her father's death, Cinderella became the servant of her own house. Her stepmother and stepsisters treated her as if she were invisible, giving her the most difficult tasks and leaving her with no rest. In spite of everything, Cinderella always held out hope that someday her life would change. One day, the king of the kingdom decided to organize a grand ball at the castle. The news spread quickly throughout the kingdom, and all the young unmarried girls were invited. Cinderella dreamed of attending the ball, but she knew that her stepmother and stepsisters would not allow her to go. For to her stepmother and stepsisters she was a maid and had no class and no clothes for the event since her stepsisters had taken away all her beautiful dresses. While Cinderella was cleaning the chimney, as she always had to clean the chimney and hence the name Cinderella because she got dirty with ashes, while doing this task, a beautiful fairy godmother floating in the air with her magic wand and her pink dress appeared in front of her. The fairy godmother told her that she came to fulfill her wishes and that she was there to help her. Cinderella expressed to him that she wanted to go to the ball that was happening in the palace and that she wanted to be dressed as a princess and that he would take her in a beautiful carriage. With a touch of his magic wand, he transformed Cinderella's tattered dress into a beautiful silk gown and her old shoes into crystal sandals. If you made it this far, remember to like and subscribe to our channel. Let's continue with the video. But the fairy godmother warned Cinderella that the magic would only last until midnight. Before disappearing, she told Cinderella that she must return home before midnight or her transformation would be undone. Cinderella arrived at the castle in her beautiful carriage. Arriving and entering the ballroom, the prince looked at her. It was love at first sight. They danced for a long time and Cinderella felt like a real princess. But when the clock struck 12, Cinderella remembered the words of the fairy godmother and hurried out of the castle. In her haste, Cinderella lost one of her glass sandals on the castle steps. The prince was in love with her, and was astonished to see that she had left without saying anything to him. The prince, fascinated by her beauty, had forgotten to ask her name and where she lived, since from the first moment he called her my princess. The only thing he had left was the glass sandal that Cinderella had left behind when she left, and he decided to look for the owner of the slipper to marry her. He ordered his servants to send another letter of invitation to the kingdom to test the sandal that Cinderella had left on the feet of all the young ladies. When the prince tried on the feet of all the ladies of the kingdom and found that none of them fit, he asked those present if he had not forgotten to invite any of the ladies of the kingdom, and one present said Cinderella was missing, but she could not be because she did not come to the ball. No one had recognized her by her beautiful dress and the carriage in which she had arrived. When he brought Cinderella and tried on the sandal, he found his beloved and took Cinderella to the castle. They were married and lived happily ever after. Cinderella never forgot her difficult life, but she was always grateful for the magic that allowed her to find true love. And so, the story of Cinderella became a tale of hope and courage. It teaches us that, even in the most difficult times, we should never lose faith and should always follow our dreams. Because, in the end, love and goodness triumph over evil and adversity. And in Colorado, this Cinderella story is over.